The wind carried to sense one of fear, one of power. In the deep jungle shadows, a young cub crouched low, his golden eyes fixed on the shapes moving beyond the undergrowth. He had never known the whole story, only fragments whispered by the rustle of leaves and the growl of distant memories. His father, a graceful antelope with swift legs but no claws, had fallen to a hunter's strike before the cub's first breath. His mother, a lioness of unmatched strength, had been that hunter. The cub's existence was a riddle written in blood and survival. He carried the silent grace of his father and the fierce hunger of his mother, a living contradiction in a world where every heartbeat was a wager. Around him, the air pulsed with the tension of the hunt. The lioness, his mother, moved ahead, muscles rippling under her tawny coat, her tail twitching in rhythm with her calculated steps. Her prey was unaware, grazing peacefully, the same kind of life his father once lived. The cub followed, every step whispering against the earth, torn between two instincts. The scent of the antelope stirred something deep within him, something gentle. Almost protective, yet the heat in his veins pushed him toward the thrill of the chase. His mother glanced back, eyes sharp as if testing him. Would he watch? Would he join? Would he choose? The moment came in a heartbeat. The lioness lunged, her body exploding forward in a blur of power. The herd scattered, pounding the ground with a storm of hooves. One antelope stumbled, and his mother seized the chance, closing the distance in 3 great bounds. The cub froze. In that instant, he saw both his father's fear and his mother's hunger. The forest roared with the sound of pursuit, and the cub's chest tightened as the outcome rushed toward him. The lioness struck, a blur of claws and muscle, bringing the prey down in a swift, merciless motion. The antelope's cry split the air, fading quickly into silence. The cub stepped closer, his paws trembling. His mother tore into the kill, but her gaze softened for a moment as she looked at him, inviting him to share. He lowered his head, tasting the life of his father's kind, the flavor mixed with confusion and acceptance. In that smoky light between the trees, the cub understood the truth. The jungle writes no straight lines. Life here is both hunter and hunted, and sometimes the same blood carries both stories. He was not just the son of a predator, nor only the child of prey. He was the bridge between two worlds, shaped by survival and the choices he had yet to make. Long after the echoes of the hunt faded, the jungle echoed with the rumble of his mother's purr, a symphony of satisfaction woven with the memory of battles won. Beside her, the young cub nestled, the warmth of her flank a comforting weight against his still-growing bones. His golden eyes, reflecting the starlight filtering through the canopy, were pools of contemplation. The taste of antelope still fresh on his tongue, he pondered the duality of his nature, a son of the hunt, heir to 2 legacies. His father, the swift and graceful antelope, had moved through the forest with the silent grace of the wind, his every step a whisper to the earth. His mother, a lioness of unmatched prowess, embodied the raw power of the jungle's heart, her presence a thunderstorm in the stillness. The cub carried the essence of both, the gentleness of his father and the untamed spirit of his mother. It was a paradox, a contradiction, a harmony. In the tapestry of the night, the cub stirred, the image of his father's last moments imprinted on his mind. He had seen it in a dream, a fleeting vision of terror and flight, his father's desperate dash under the unforgiving sun. The memory was a shard of ice in his young heart, a reminder of the fragility of life and the ever-present threat of loss. It had also sparked a determination within him, a vow to honor his father's memory by embracing the strength his mother embodied. As the hours drifted by, the sounds of the night grew louder. The symphony of the jungle swelled around them, a chorus of crickets and nocturnal calls. And in the heart of this vibrant chaos, the cub felt a stirring within him, a response to the ancient rhythms of the wild. It was the call of the hunt, echoing the legacy of his mother. It mingled with the echo of his father's gentle spirit, urging him towards balance, urging him to find his place in the intricate dance of predator and prey. With the first blush of dawn, the sky blazed with colors, painting the clouds with hues of orange and gold. The jungle, awakened by the rising sun, thrummed with activity. Birds sang their vibrant songs, and the rustle of leaves concealed the movements of creatures both curious and cautious. For the young cub, The dawning day brought a new resolve. The time for contemplation was over. Now he must step into the reality of his existence, confront his instincts, and decide his path. He turned to his mother. Her eyes, twin embers of wisdom and power, held his gaze. In their depths, he saw the reflection of his own burgeoning strength, the potential for both grace and ferocity. With a small nod, acknowledging the silent understanding between them, the cub rose to his paws. It was a simple gesture, yet it resonated with the weight of their shared lineage. Beside his mother, the cub began to stalk, his movements tentative at first, then gaining confidence with each step. The thrill of the chase coursed through him, mingling with the memory of his father's tranquil presence. It was a heady mix, a potent cocktail of instincts and influences that would define his journey. As they moved deeper into the emerald labyrinth, the cub felt the spirit of his father urging him forward, guiding him to navigate the complexities of his dual heritage. The antelope's essence whispered in his ear, reminding him of the importance of balance, of the need to honor both sides of his nature. At the same time, the lioness, his mother, pressed on, her senses attuned to the rhythm of the hunt. The world was a tapestry of scents, sounds, and vibrations, and she was its keen interpreter. She taught her cub to read the subtle signs, to understand the language of the wild. With each passing moment, the cub learned, his young mind absorbing the lessons of the hunt, his lithe body responding to the instincts that surged within him. The forest became his classroom, and the trials of the wild, his textbooks. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the temperature of the jungle rose, turning the air thick and heavy. The cub's muscles, still green to the ways of the hunt, began to ache. The relentless humidity clung to him like a second skin, testing his endurance. But he pressed on, driven by an inner fire, a desire to prove himself worthy of his lineage, to honor the memory of his father and the legacy of his mother. And then there it was, the clearing where the antelopes grazed, oblivious to the danger lurking at the edge of their vision. Among them was a young male, his features marked with the promise of maturity, his movements exuding the confident swagger of youth. For the cub, it was more than just a hunt. It was a connection to his father's kind, a tribute to the legacy he carried. The young antelope represented the innocence of his father's past, a past that was both cherished and mourned. In that moment, the cub found clarity. The jungle had tested him, pushed him to the brink, and in doing so had revealed his true purpose. He was the bridge between two worlds, the link between the grace of the antelope and the might of the lioness. The very essence of his being was a testament to the intricate balance of the wild. The hunt was more than just a test. It was a rite of passage, a confirmation of his identity. As the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the clearing, the cub made his move. With the precision born of instinct and training, he struck, not with the ferocious intent of a lion, but with the strategic swiftness of an experienced hunter. His target, the young male, seemed almost chosen to represent his father's spirit. The chase was exhilarating, a dance of speed and agility that echoed the legacy of his parents. Yet the cub never lost sight of his purpose. This was not about unbridled power, but about honoring the memory of those who came before. When the young antelope finally fell, the cub stood over him, his chest heaving, his golden eyes shining with a newfound resolve. In that moment, he understood that his father would have been proud. The hunt was over, but the cub's journey had just begun. He had proven himself not just to his mother or to the forest, but to the memory of his father. He was the son of the hunt, and in that, he found his place,